Being that there is a lack of games today, I decided I would put that time to use and talk about the teams that didn't make it to the restart at all, actually. They didn't even get to the play-in. So we're going to start with San Jose, which, as a Knights fan, it makes me happy to see how well they did this year. They went 29, 36, and 5 for a total of 63 points and finished 8th in the Pacific Division. Their leading scorer was Timo Meier with 22 goals and 27 assists. Their best goalie was Jones with 17 wins, 21 losses, and 2 overtime losses with a save percentage of .896. That's tough. Martin Jones struggled with consistency. This year he was consistent, just consistently bad. They don't have their own first overall pick, which is Ottawa's, which was the number 3 pick. Oof. They have Tampa's pick, so we'll see how that ends up. They have $14.9 million in cap space, which is, again, tough for a team with not a great prospect pool. Like, they have prospects, but none of them look like they're ready to fill the holes that they need to be filled. They have too much money in declining players like Jones, Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson. That trade really backfired, didn't it? San Jose looks like this is the beginning of the end. Like, their cup window is gone. Joe Thornton probably not going to come back. They dealt Marleau at the trade deadline. I think it's over, guys. So verdict: need a bigger boat. They don't have what they need. They just don't. LA, this team, oh boy, 29, 35, and 6 for a total of 64 points. They finished 7th in the Pacific Division, but they were very hot before the restart. They actually ended Vegas' winning streak back in February with a 4-0 win, which was very surprising at the time because Vegas had just beat the Capitals. Who else did they beat? The Lightning, Philly. They beat a lot of good teams in quick succession. They had a comeback win against the Blues. And then LA was the team that stopped them on home ice, might I add. So LA was looking hot towards the end. They weren't going to make the playoffs, but they were looking good. The leading scorer was Anze Kopitar with 21 goals and 41 assists. Their best goalie was Jonathan Quick, who was 36, 22, and 14 with a .904 save percentage. He was better late in the season. Beginning of the season, Jonathan Quick was having it tough, but does better. They have this number 2 overall pick, $20.7 million in cap space, and lots of forward depth. They do need a second-line center, though. Defense, they could probably use an offensive defenseman as well, but I think they're okay. Goaltending is a little iffy. Their backup goalie, though, is nice. I believe his name is Peterson. He's pretty solid. But, again, I still think Jonathan Quick is the guy for now unless they do something drastic. The thing is, the salary cap's staying flat. So free agency is going to be weird, so I don't really want to talk about it too much because I really don't know how to predict that. Because a lot of teams are going to be cap-strapped just re-signing their own guys. So I'm not going to really delve into that too much other than giving you the numbers. LA looks good. My verdict for LA is a fast turnaround. I could see them making the playoffs next year. Probably as a wild card, but they could probably make it. Anaheim, 29, 33, and 9 for 67 points, 6th in the Pacific. Their leading scorer was Adam Henrique with 26 goals and 17 assists. Their best goalie was John Gibson, who went 20, 26, and 5 with a .904 save percentage. The Ducks look better on paper than they played this year. They just, they're going through some growing pains here. They got the number 6 overall pick. They have $5.82 million in cap space. They have plenty of prospects, so they'll probably just be plugging them in and seeing who fits type of deal. Preseason will be interesting to watch for them. But verdict, roast duck. This team is the beginning of the downfall. San Jose hit a sharp cliff. Anaheim's going to go slowly into that good night. We'll go right to Detroit. Detroit went 17, 49, and 5 for 39 points. They finished 8th in the Atlantic, and was dead last in the NHL. Their leading scorer was Dylan Larkin with 19 goals and 34 assists. Their best goalie was Bernier who went 15, 22, and 3 with a .907 save percentage. Not bad considering how much of a dumpster fire this team was. Number 4 pick in the draft. It's not happening for Detroit. It won't be for a while. There's no amount of moves that can make this team go from worst to first. Hockey Town's gonna struggle for a little bit. I got a good quote from my buddy here. It's a bunch of bums and soon to be studs, and it's pretty accurate. I mean, their aging core hit the cliff, and they're not doing great at all. And most of them are probably leaving, I'd say. And then they have pieces like Bertuzzi. I really like him. Who else? Larkin's really good. There's a couple players. Oh, Svechnikov, Evgeny Svechnikov. They have pieces. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna take some time. So verdict: it ain't over till it's over. Cause this is the beginning of the pain for Detroit. It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. Ottawa, another one of my teams like LA that I'm very excited for. They went 25, 34, and 12 for a total of 62 points and 7th in the Atlantic Division. Their leading scorer was Brady Tkachuk, who got 21 goals and 23 assists. Their best goalie was Craig Anderson, who went 11, 17, and 2 with a .902 save percentage. They have the number 3 and number 5 overall pick in the draft. I don't expect them to be big spenders in free agency because I like their core, so I didn't even mention it. Also, again, free agency is weird. Their prospects they're loaded. Like Ottawa looks good, especially defensively. Not prospect-wise, but just the young guys, Zaitsev and Brannstrom. Big moves coming. They lack a leader, though. They really need like a third liner or maybe a second liner who can come in and kind of teach the kids the ropes type of deal. And they have a rebrand incoming. They're going to go back to the 2D logo, so I can't wait to see those new jerseys. I love my jerseys. If you can see my Rangers one, I got some others over there. Love jerseys. So I really expect Ottawa to turn around quickly. My verdict is, till we meet again, I expect them to be in the playoffs soon. Maybe not next year, maybe 2-3 years. Ottawa should be a contender again. Oh, Buffalo. Buffalo makes me sad. They went 30, 31, and 8 for 68 points, 6 in the Atlantic. So close to that play-in. So close. Their leading scorer was Eichel, 36 goals and 42 assists. Their best goalie was Ullmark, who went 17, 14, and 3 with a .915. They're the number 8 pick in the draft, $34 million cap space. They fired their GM, Jason Botterill. They haven't made the playoffs since 2011. Yikes. And the losing has to end. I mean, the fans are fed up. Everyone's fed up. I mean, this is just unacceptable. Like, there's no excuse, really, for them to have not made the playoffs. They were strong in November, like, as they always are. They have a good core. There's decent, like, they have scoring depth. They have great defense. Their goalie's not bad. They got new jerseys, though. They went back to royal blue. They look nice. They're like, this is their reinvention period. Like, they're going to come out with the new jerseys. They're going to come out with the new GM. We're going to see how the draft goes. We'll see how free agency goes. This has to be a new Buffalo. Verdict, do or die. Like, they got to do it. Like, this has to be the year they make the playoffs. Otherwise, attendance is going to drop. And Buffalo's going to really struggle. They're going to have a real issue. The Jersey Devils, they went 28, 29, and 12 for 68 points. Finished 8th in the Metro. They did not live up to their hype this year. Jack Hughes, he didn't have as bad of a season as everyone says he did, but he didn't live up to his hype. Nikita Gusev also did not after being traded from Vegas. They didn't live up to their hype, which is fine. I mean, they weren't good last year either. They were better than last year, but I think they're getting much more of a bad rap than they should be. Their leading scorer was Paul Mary. He got 25 goals and 20 assists. Their best goalie was Mackenzie Blackwood, who's a stud. I really like Mackenzie Blackwood. He should be good going forward. He went 22, 14, and 8 with a .915 save percentage, which I'm pretty sure is the highest. It's tied for highest on the board. They have the number 7 pick in the draft. They have 3 in the first round. They have $26.2 million cap space, and they got to use that to fix their defense because, oh boy, that defense. PK Subban had a down year, and it was really bad. I mean, but I don't really blame Subban. I think they misused him. Like, they expected him to be this, like, defensive defenseman. That's not who PK Subban is. He's pretty much just a slap shot. Just use him how he's supposed to be used. I really do like PK Subban. His podcast is really nice. You should go check that out. My verdict on the Jersey Devils is, I don't know, maybe. Like, they could turn it around. They do have a very talented forward core. Their defense isn't... Their defense is bad. I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat it. Their defense is god-awful. Goaltending with Blackwood there is fine. Forward core, pretty decent. Like, they're not the best, but they're pretty decent. They could push for a wild card. I think the problem is there's a very competitive. Like, the East is competitive as hell. Like, there's just so many good teams. But they could probably push out Florida. And if the Maple Leafs really do go for that rebuild, I mean, they could probably edge out Maple. We'll see. We'll get to that. We'll get to those play-in teams probably tomorrow, maybe later tonight if I'm feeling very motivated. But that's all for today. So, hope you enjoy.